Hi guys, I have not done a vlog in my car before, but I am feeling like it today. My left eye is kind of being a little weird, so not really sure what that's all about, but hopefully it doesn't decide to just close up on me while I'm doing this, because I really am feeling very passionate about talking today. And I had decided, because I was taking some pictures because I'm trying to write a blog about something, and I was already in this cute shirt. I did my makeup and all that stuff, and I actually did my hair, but then I decided to go for a drive because I just needed to get out. But my legs are pretty much toast from a hike I did yesterday. You can see the YouTube video, Garrison Rock. That's what I did yesterday, and probably did myself in. But it's actually probably a good thing, because I am going to Mayo again on Friday, and I'm going to be getting an MRI done on my pelvis. So they need to see the inflammation that's going on in there when I don't have a shot or a PSIS trigger shot going on, because that's pretty much wore off by now. So, yep, fun things. But that's not why I came on here to talk to you. So the reason why I wanted to talk today is because I seen a post from a fellow IGer, Ray, talking about medical gaslighting and how prevalent it is. And it just makes me sad, because I know what that's like, because it's happened to me. My medical gaslighting situation happened. It's still really the main one that has affected me the most happened this year in 2020. And you would think that medical professionals of 2020 would know better, but they don't. So my doctor, my primary care physician, she is an ARNP. I have seen her since probably 2014, so over 6 years. She was the doctor that seen me after my emergency gallbladder surgery at Walt Disney World, and when I was on vacation at Disney World, and I had some pains and stuff that I wasn't sure what was going on afterwards, and she was my primary care physician at that time. And I thought at that time, oh, she's really listening to me. She's really understanding that there could be something going on post-surgery, because for one, I've had surgery in the middle of my trip, went to Hollywood Studios right afterwards, right after I left the hospital, had 2 days after that, one day that we went to the beach and one day that we didn't, and we got prepared to fly back to Iowa from Florida. And so there could have been a lot of things that happened in those first days post-op from that gallbladder surgery. And so she was very attentive during that time. She was also the doctor that I went to when I fell off a ladder and landed on my vanity sink as I was changing a light bulb, which ended up herniating my disc. And so she was the first one that I went to see. And I thought she listened really well. And over the years, because of those two things and a few other things along the line, I had grown to trust her. And so as I've been dealing with this pain situation that I've been dealing with for the last 2 years, she sent me to a couple neurologists that she thought she trusted. One of them just wanted to prescribe medication without even testing for any tests. The second one, all he wanted to do was do tests and not do any treatment, and then sent me to a rheumatologist that I wasn't sure if I could trust or not. So when I started to have additional leg pain in January, February of this year, I went to this doctor and I said, I'm not sure what's going on, but this is different than all the other pains that I've been dealing with. There is something wrong with my legs. So she'd sent me to x-rays and told me to get a referral to an orthopedic surgeon and those kinds of things to get checked out. And as I was waiting on those appointments, I was like, well, actually, I went and seen the orthopedic surgeon. So she had the report back from him, but I had not seen pain management yet. And at that time, the MRI just said that I had a torn disc in my lower lumbar. So to her, that meant the pain was imaginary. And because I couldn't get into pain management until May 2020, this was in February 2020, I could not get in until May. That's when they scheduled. This was before COVID hit Iowa, and they had to cancel everything anyway. That she just decided that I didn't need any additional assistance. And as I was sitting there talking to her, I was nearly in tears as I started with, they have me every time. They have me fill out a form that says about depression, right? As every time they have me fill out a form about depression. And I always answer it honestly because I've dealt with mental health issues my whole entire life. And I know how important it is to answer those honestly. And so I answered it completely honestly, but she apparently did not even see that because it wasn't. So as I was telling her about everything, I was like, okay, so this pain is in my lower back and my legs. I'm having trouble there. But I woke up that morning of the doctor's appointment, because I had made it probably a week prior, and said that for some reason my neck and shoulders just is absolutely killing me today. I don't know why. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on with my body. That was what I said. Her response back to me was, it is in your head. There is nothing wrong with you. The MRI of your lower back shows a torn disc, but does not show anything else. We are not redoing a cervical spine MRI on you. We had one done last year. It wasn't showing any problems. The only thing that she also knows is that I have degenerative disc disease. And that means that I am at risk for more herniated discs than most other people. For whatever reason, my spine is crap, and a lot of people deal with this, right? This is not a new thing. This is not a new phenomenon. It's out there. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go on in your spine. There's a lot of reasons that these things can happen. Accidents, injuries, what have you. I have had a doctor tell me, and this was the orthopedic surgeon that I seen in February of 2020, that said a lot of your issues are going to be from sitting at your desk job. I'm a computer software engineer, have been for 15 years. So I do sit a lot, and I work a lot of extended hours. I work a lot of days that are past what normal hours would be for normal people. I'm a salaried employee. That tends to be what's asked of us. And I'm an overachiever. So I do a lot of things that have damaged my spine over time. because of the sitting. I'm also overweight. I have been overweight. I used to be 385 pounds. I'm now around 250. But all of those factors have factored into the fact that I have hurt my spine over time. My body just cannot handle it. And so there are weird things that happen with that. The other thing that I deal with is fibromyalgia. I have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Winters, weather changes, stress, all that stuff plays into a part of the fibromyalgia. But this primary care physician, somebody that I have trusted for a long time, just said the words, not just basically, she said the words, "I'm sorry to say this to you, but it is all in your head." I immediately start just absolutely sobbing. Absolutely sobbing. She didn't go on to say, the reason it is in your head is because fibromyalgia is a disease of the central nervous system. She did not explain to me that there are things happening inside of my brain that is causing things to fire off and to cause pain all over my body. She didn't say that. She said the pain is in your head. It does not exist. So I tried to gather myself up together and said, this conversation is over, grabbed my things, wobbled my way outside of the office, turned my little yellow paper in, did not speak with anybody to reschedule the appointment that she had asked for, full well knowing that I will never, ever go back to see this person ever again. There is no way that I will. That, her statements and her dismissal of my pain is medical gaslighting. It is what it is. I understand that I deal with mental health, right? I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And the reason it's complex is because it's been lifelong. Not because of anybody knowingly doing a lot of things. There have been life events that have happened that are more intense and not familial, generational related. But at any rate, before I go into that, complex PTSD. And I walked out of that office more suicidal than I have ever been for a very, very, very long time. Now, I deal with passive suicidal tendencies. I deal with passive suicidal thoughts. And it has been even way, way worse since dealing with more pain, because it makes it hard to get through a day. Just how it is. And that makes me sad, not only for myself, but for everybody else that I know is dealing with chronic pain and having to fight through the mental side of that, because depression is known to be a part of fibromyalgia and complex regional pain syndrome and anything else that can cause any kind of bodily pain that you have to deal with on a daily basis. It affects your mind. Okay, it really, really affects your mind. And so I know what everybody is going through. I don't know their individual stories, but I can relate so much to what they deal with. And the fact that my primary care physician, somebody who I've trusted for years, did that to me and has told me before. We've talked about my mental health. We've talked about when I need to go and get additional assistance. I know when I need to go and get additional assistance. What she didn't know already at that appointment was that I had already made an appointment and made contact with my support network on the mental health side to get additional assistance. I didn't need her for that. I needed her to validate my pain. And she disregarded it. She dismissed it as all in my head. And for doctors to be doing that, it is wrong. It is wrong. Fibromyalgia is real. Acute injury alongside fibromyalgia is also real. Those things can go hand in hand. Fibromyalgia will amplify any kind of other acute injury that you can possibly have. That's what I learned at the Mayo Clinic. I wish everybody could go there. I wish everybody could have the chance to understand and learn about fibromyalgia in the way that I did. And that is why part of why I share my story, because I want others to know that there are people that understand it, and there are people out there and doctors out there and clinics out there that understand that fibromyalgia is a real condition. The pain from fibromyalgia and all the other symptoms that go along with it, they are real. They are not something that can be dismissed. And that the things that you say are real and valid. But that's part of why I started sharing my story a lot louder than what I ever have, because these doctors, nurses, ARNPs, physician assistants, anybody in the medical community that is disregarding what you're saying as real needs to hear the message that our pain is valid. I don't know whether it's going to come from Mayo Clinic, if it's going to come from all of us that have the diseases and the symptoms and the conditions to speak up loudly to get them to hear us. But I'm going to find a way, because I don't want a friend that I make in this community to ever find out that they committed suicide because a doctor dismissed them as their pain wasn't valid. That they said that just take Advil, that'll make it go away. Have you tried Tylenol? Have you tried Advil? What about naproxen? I can't prescribe you anything more than that. Do you take any other drugs? Are you a drug? Are you a drug addict? Are you a former drug addict? Are you an alcoholic? Do you drink alcohol to help deal with your pain? How do you deal with it now? All of those questions and all of those things are dismissive of people that are dealing with chronic pain of some shape or form. Absolutely dismissive. And it needs to stop, because everybody's life on this planet, Black, Asian, Hispanic, white, I don't care, everybody's life is important, and everybody's life deserves a chance to find healing in their hearts and how to deal with their chronic illness. And they deserve a chance to talk to doctors and to have health care that supports them in finding doctors that can help validate their situation. Everybody needs access to that. I don't know how to make that happen. But I know that I really don't want to shut up until something is done. People living and fighting through the day-to-day and not having access to this, to health care. If they're on Medicaid, if they're on Medicare, whatever it may be, they need doctors that listen and validate their situation. They don't need surgery after surgery if they really don't have anything to fix. They need the answers, the care, the support of people to say, your pain is real. Those headaches that you have all the time, those are real. If your periods are crap and too heavy and extremely painful, those are real, and there's a reason for it. We might be able to fix it, but we might not be able to fix it. In the case of fibromyalgia, there are things that, lifestyle things, that they have studied up at Mayo Clinic that can help decrease flares of fibromyalgia pain. But the thing about it is they are trying to teach that to everybody, but they only have 4 hospitals around the United States. I don't know that they're sharing their message far and wide enough to be able to pass that information on to those that need it. The Instagram community, the YouTube community for disability and chronic illnesses, they do their best to share about these things, but also can get stuck in sharing about how bad the pain is on the bad days, which can just trigger some people some more. And we need to be careful, but we have to be able to get the message out of things that can be done and things that can help. So anyway, I know this is a long rant, and I know I'm in my car doing it, but I just needed to get it out. I appreciate every single person that has watched this. I hope that it has been helpful. I do want to be sharing more about the things that I am doing to help my fibromyalgia. I think overall, right now, my fibromyalgia is pretty, I would say my flares for fibromyalgia are not as high since I've gone to the Mayo Clinic. Fingers crossed, right? Right now I am in acute injury mode and situation, but my overall body pain has decreased. I think that's also due to some of the weather changes here in Iowa. As long as it's not storming, I tend to do okay for the most part, as long as I'm doing the things that I've learned to do. So I have to keep that routine going. And I hope to share more about that daily routine. But right now, this is just a rant that we need to get our healthcare providers, our healthcare professionals to understand that medical gaslighting, for those of us that deal with chronic pain issues and illnesses and diseases and disabilities, I'm probably not using the right terms. But at any rate, I want them to learn that the pain that we feel is valid. And if you don't understand it, reach out to the Mayo Clinic, because I imagine that they would help you understand what is going on so that you can provide the education to your patients. Because it is not up to the patients, to continue to educate the doctors, the nurse practitioners, the physician's assistants, the physicians themselves. It is not up to patients to do that education. It is up to the medical professionals to be learning along the way as more research comes out. It is not up to us to educate them. They are the ones that are supposed to be helping us. They need to be doing their jobs, and we need to hold them accountable for that. So I'm going to end that for today, but thank you so much for following along. Please share this if it has been helpful. Of course, the whole like, subscribe button, as I am just getting this baby channel off the ground, would be super helpful. I want this message to get out there. I want to find a way. So help me do that, because I want to help you. I hope you have a great day, great rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Take time for your self-care. Moderate what you're doing. I will be making a video, probably, it might even be today, about the routine that I have learned from the Mayo Clinic, and some of the things that I am including in that, to help myself so that you can help yourself. Okay? So take care. We'll talk to you soon.